Now, investigators tell us everything still remains on the table, even as they're looking at this very confusing evidence that the plane may have stayed in the air for hours after the radar signal was lost. Again, this is based on some information that satellites were picking up from the plane's communication system. All still very confusing, very uncertain.
Lisa Stark for us in Washington, D.C. Lisa, thank you. And Al Jazeera's transportation contributor Todd Curtis joining us now. And Todd, first of all, what do you make of the Wall Street Journal reporting, claiming that the plane's engines continued to send transmissions after the plane disappeared?
Well, I say that that's a distinct possibility because that technology certainly exists. And the engine manufacturer Rolls-Royce does have agreements with various airlines to have engine information transmitted during flight. So it's conceivable that that happened here.
So now I'm confused. I'm being told it's not the engine sending this information, but satellite transmissions. Can you clear this up for me?
Yes, the information gets from the airplane to the manufacturer, in this case Rolls-Royce, by various means. And sometimes satellite communications are used to relay the data. And in this particular case, again, it's a specific agreement that the manufacturer would have with the airline. And in that agreement, they would hash out how the communication would go about, and for that matter, what, if any, information would be sent.
Who receives this information?
Well, again, this is not something that's required by the national aviation authorities. This is something that is done by the manufacturers of engines and other aircraft components to have maintenance data. So,
Todd, let me take a step back here. I'm wondering if the government, there is this strand that's developing now. I'm wondering what you think of it. Does Malaysia know more about this investigation, more information about this disappearance, the facts around it, the ongoing nature of the investigation than it is making public at this point? Or is that something of a false narrative that is developing, taking hold in the absence of anything really solid to go on?
Well, any accident investigation, whether it's Malaysia or the United States or any other country, in the early stages, there's usually a lot of raw information, some of it contradictory, some of it confusing. And the official authority that's running the investigation, which for the moment are the Malaysians, they have to make decisions. What information do we share with the public? Now, I don't believe it's a question of them trying to deliberately mislead the public. It's a question of what information can they actually confirm to be true, and what information can they share without violating any international agreements or other issues that could be going on in the background, and without getting too complex. This is a situation where several organizations within Malaysia, several organizations outside of Malaysia, several national governments are involved, all exchanging information. And it's easy to see how some things can be confused along the way. So some of their statements that seem as though they're not telling the truth, I don't think that's the case at all.
But you believe that all of these entities that you've just laid out here, but all of these entities are working toward one goal, and that is ultimately to find this aircraft?
That's correct.
Okay.
But one must keep in mind a simple fact that in this international investigation, they are basically dealing on a government-to-government basis. For example, if a private company in the U.S. finds out something, they can't relay that directly to the Malaysian government. They'll relay it to the U.S. representative in the investigation, and they will in turn relay it to the Malaysian government. So there could be some delays in getting information back and forth.
Okay. Todd, appreciate it. Todd Curtis, our aviation consultant here at Al Jazeera. Thanks, Todd.